Hey everyone, welcome back to part 2 of the new Sudden Death Challenges tournament. We're playing in Ogre Wizard and we had quite a harrowing start to this one. So I don't know if you caught it. If you didn't, I recommend you go back and watch it. Rather than starting on episode 2, what are you, crazy? Anyway, we opened this door here to begin the floor, and just sitting outside was a D1 null, a bunch of other enemies. As we were kiting them around and around and around, we then had a dart slug and another enemy turn up. So we had to run down to D2, which turned out to be pretty fine. There weren't too many dangerous enemies, and we ended up finding a D2 Hep altar, which is one of our gods for this week. So just as a reminder, our challenges this week are to get a rune before entering Lair. I don't remember. Anyway, the gist of it is that for 6 bonus points this week, we're trying to win without ever entering Lair. And doing that will satisfy our weekly challenges. I think round 2 is to get a rune without entering Lair. I don't know, something like that. It doesn't matter because we're not going to enter Lair. Whether we die before we even get there or because we skip it, one of those two will happen. Our current character, we've got a few different things going on. The first is that we have an entrance to the sewer somewhere here on this level. We don't have any scrolls we can read, so there's no chance of finding magic mapping, so we'll just have to try to walk around and explore, pay attention to the sound cues. I would like to find it because it tends to have a lot of good potions in particular. Curing is really important because we don't yet have it. And also, if we're super lucky, we could have Purgy in there. Is that his name? Purgy? Yeah, Purgy. Who's a troll. So maybe this character, we'd have to get really lucky to get a Purgy vault and then get lucky to get his leather armor. But if you got an early troll leather armor on an ogre, you'd be pretty stoked. Or I would be anyway. The other thing we have going on, but just before I do that, let's just check in on our training here and our skill levels. So with a wizard start, we're sort of training all over the board here. We're training a little bit more summonings to bring our core imp down, and we're also training air and poison magic to make Mephitic Cloud more useful. And as for fighting and spellcasting, we're probably going to be training all of those for quite a while. I don't think we'll stop training fighting until we get to 27, if we get to 27. Mephitic right now is at 22% failure, and once we've done that, we'll probably train some fire magic for Conjure Flame. We're doing a little bit for Conjure Flame. Oh wait, no, we're not. We're not training conjurations at the moment. Okay, never mind. So it will just stay where it is. The other really important thing is that we have the ability to remember our ancestor. So we made it to 2 pips of Hep Piety because of how early we found Hep. Having this happen to begin D4 is insane. D4 is usually when you start finding the temple. So it's like if you get really lucky, around this time you might get your god. But we've got our god Hep and we are already turning it into its type, which is crazy. Crazy lucky. Alright, so our 3 choices are Knight, Battle Mage and Hexer. My opinion is that Battle Mage is, unless you're specifically trying to make some sort of meme run, I don't know, unless you're specifically building around it, I don't think the Battle Mage is a strong one. Your ancestor as a Battle Mage is quite fragile. I mean, sometimes it will just blow up enemies, but a lot of the time it sort of does nothing and just dies. Whereas I need to get carried here. We're going to be skipping Lair, which means we've got to do an early elf and a really early depths. Normally, before you do depths, you've done 2 runes, you've done vaults 1 to 4. Whereas for us, we'll have no Lair, we'll have no runes, and we'll have no vaults. We'll be heading into depths. So we can't afford a meme ancestor, we have to get carried. So that leaves our choice between Knight and Hexer. Now, I've never actually played any that's not the Hexer because it's so good. Anyway, so I think basically the Hexer is the most powerful one. but I think the knight is the more harder carry. So the knight eventually ends up with a broadaxe and a shield, so it's quite tanky. It can cleave all around it, and eventually I think it will haste itself, or maybe its axe might become speed branded. I don't know. The point is that it can just fight stuff for you, which means you can be totally AFK doing nothing, and you can just watch your knight win. I think the Hexer is a stronger one because it, on its own, can also... It's really strong at all points in the game. So in this early bit, it has a dagger of draining. It also will hex enemies for you, and for a good while, most enemies have low magic resistance, so it will effectively hex things. And then later on in the game, it gets a quick blade of anti-magic, extremely good against orbs of fire, ancient liches, all those things. And because we're skipping Lair, we're going to have to get some runes either in Pan or in Hell. And so when we're fighting Lords, the fact that we'll have an anti-magic quick blade ancestor would be super strong. So I can see a big payoff in the end, but my main concern is the part of the game where we're heading into depths. Now, so the ancestor might hex stuff, but it's still going to be on you or on us to kill them. So in that sense, it's not as hard to carry as the knight would be. We're still going to have to help out ourselves. Now, I don't know, the fact that we've found Hep this early makes me want to lean a little bit more towards Hexer, because, I don't know, we don't need to be so hard carried right now in the early game. I don't know, I always pick Hexer. I've never even tried Knight. I don't know. I also have a suspicion, and I mean, who knows this, because who normally skips Lair? But I feel like at that point in the game, against depths enemies, the Knight might not actually be strong enough to just, say, fight deep troll packs on its own anyway. In which case, if we teamed up with the Hexer, maybe we could. So I don't know. I think I'm going to pick Hexer. I don't know if this is correct or not, but I don't know. It's the Hexer life. It's just really OP. Oh, it's not true actually. In the very early stages of Hep, I remember playing Knight because you could choose its weapon and you had the ability to give it a demon trident. So I have memories of standing behind lightning spires with my ancestor as we both used demon tridents over the top of the spire. It was amazing. But yeah, can't do that anymore. Always gets an axe. I'm gonna pick Hexer. You might disagree, very reasonably so. Are you sure we want to be a Hexer? Yes, it is so. Alright, Ultraviolent 3, the Hexer. It has its dagger of draining. So that's useful because draining is quite a good brand. Not only does it damage enemies, but it also lowers their hit dice. So if they have spells, that sort of thing, it makes them less dangerous. Even just for melee enemies, a lower hit dice makes them less accurate in their attacks. I think it lowers their... No, it doesn't lower their damage. Or maybe it does, I don't know. Anyway, lowering hit dice of enemies is really good. So draining is really good. And that's it. Let's find the sewer. I've been talking for almost 9 minutes. I mean, this is really important because the choice of ancestor is a big part of what you do with Hep. This is really quite scary. That's a scorpion and we don't yet have curing, but our ancestor should just kill it. And if not, we're going to make some imps. Okay. Our ancestor slowed the scorpion and there has now drained it. So that little blue status thing that came up was a draining status. So that worked out pretty well. I could have tried to hit it with Mephitic. Couple of issues there. One is that 21% chance to fail. The other is that it's really loud. And so we're trying to sneak our way into the sewer right now without attracting the whole floor to us. Okay, we've got the early D4 Ogre. If we can Conjure Flame him, we can basically defeat him. because then we can just reach over it with our trident. Okay, and now I think we can get behind our Hexer. Let me just make some more imps before this happens. Oh, we got a white imp. Okay, the white imp is going to kill him for sure. Cool, we reached level 6. We're picking more intelligence. I'm not going to wait for my ancestor to come back because I really want to find the sewer. I don't think we've had any indication yet of where it is. Certainly none that I've noticed. Oh, here's a smoking stuff. I've turned those off in auto pickup again because I'd rather just turn on unknown staves rather than when I mess with my RC file and then I started picking up all staves even when I knew them. So this is less annoying. I'm not going to wield that until we have remove curse though, because that we might get stuck with it. But that could be really important. It could give us a resistance. It could also give us enhancer stuff. It might also just be giving us, say, extra magic points if that's a staff of power. Anyway, we'll find out. It might be a while till we get remove curse anyway. We'll need to find 2 because we need to first read one to find out what it is, and then a second one before we can use it. Here's a book. Very exciting to find books when you're a wizard. Oh wow, and it is, wow, that's a great book too. It's the book of cantrips, so the most exciting thing I see there is confusing touch, and also animate skeleton is really good too. But confusing touch is super OP. It's a level 1 hex. We can use it on our spear, so we can confuse stuff while we're hiding behind our ancestor. If I had found this before we had picked our ancestor, I think I would have picked knight, because the ability for it to be tanky with its axe while we stand behind it and confusing touch things, I think would be really powerful. But that's okay. A bunch of these we want to learn. Confusing touch, animate skeleton, apportation. And I think we learned confusing touch immediately. Oh, animate skeleton we learned immediately too. Alright, and animate skeleton. Do I learn apportation immediately? Probably not. It's not as big a deal. I think we keep our spell levels in case we find more books. Like say we found Summon Lightning Spire, I want to learn that immediately. Where has our confusing touch gone? It's on C. I'm going to use equals S to put confusing touch on Z maybe. And animate skeleton was on U. I'm going to make a macro that instead of butchering, I'm going to animate skeletons. So now if I hit C, we'll raise it. Yeah, that's an amazing book to find. So again, it's mostly utility. Like those, I was going to say those books won't carry you, but I mean confusing touch kind of will. It's pretty overpowered now that it works on weapons. But anyway, that's a real exciting find. Ultraviolent 3 is back. I still haven't seen any indications of where the sewer might be. And we might train some hexes soon. We're not really in a hurry because we've got it at 12% to fail, and training more hexes, all it does is increase the duration of your touch. It doesn't make it stronger against the enemies. It doesn't confuse them for longer. It's part of why the spell is so good. We have 3 potions of something. I think there's a good chance that 3 is curing. We're just not getting any indication of the sewer whatsoever. I sort of don't like this exploring I'm doing, so to get back to this upstairs, we'd sort of have to be running all the way back down here, while enemies could be coming from the top. So I'm going to explore back towards the stairs, make our retreat path be clear if need be, like here. I'm going to stand behind our dude. I should be doing that all the time. Oh yeah, and there we go, we animated a skeleton. Nice. Cool. Yeah, I have not seen a single indication of the drain. I see Dagger of Draining, but not Drain. Here's a Sky Beast, so that would normally be quite a scary enemy, but our Ancestor sees Invis. So the Ancestor is just going to kill it, and in fact just hexed it. Our Air Magic and Poison Magic has just gone to level 2. That brings Mephitic down to 14% chance to fail. So, is that enough, or do we need to train those skills to level 3? I feel like that's probably enough, because we can get a bunch of these other spells going, and we can come back to Mephitic. So I'm going to focus a couple of points of translocation for the Blink spell. I'm going to bring that to 2, and I'm also going to focus 2 points of Fire Magic for our Conjure Flame. So our training sort of looks like it's all over the board, which it is, and hexes we might do in a little bit. Because if you want to Conjure Flame, say there's some scary enemy coming, you don't want to fail it 1 out of every 5 times. You want it to work. And where is our sewer? Here's a new wand. A Wand of Acid, very exciting. Another good early find. I'm not crazy, right? There definitely was a sewer around. Well, we haven't had to rest, so hopefully we haven't spent too much time, but I haven't even had an indication of where it is. Unless I just completely missed it over and over again. But it should give me a force more, I thought. Maybe not. Hello? Where's my sewer? Let's stand behind our Ancestor. Our Ancestor will easily beat an Adonel. Yeah, look. Yeah, this is really... We are very far ahead of the standard character power curve to have a Hexa Ancestor on D4. It's an imbalanced game. I sort of think we maybe need to explore in this area, but how do we get in there? Like this. I see water, this is probably the sewer. But why didn't we get any sound indications? Not even one. I'm kind of a bit bemused about that. We can't animate cockroaches. If it's not still there, I'm going to be angry. Translocations to 1. Let me just get behind this stuff. Just using my 0 skill spear here. Okay, it's still open. Let's quickly go inside. Alright, cool, we'll rest up. Alright, so we made it in. If we're real lucky, normally this wouldn't be lucky, this would be unlucky. We'll find Pergy. I mean, even if we weren't as overpowered as we were with, say, our Ancestor, etc., we have a Wand of Acid. So we can kill everything pretty easily here. So what would be the dream? We find Pergy, we get a Troll Armor, and we get a bunch of potions. Oh yeah, our Ancestor can fly, so he can go over the deep water. I can make some imps to help as well. I get a white one. I'm super skilled at the game. Because I'm large, I don't get a penalty to my attacks while standing in shallow water. Okay, that was a bit scary that we didn't kill that river rat. Okay, this looks like the layout that has giant frogs in it, which again is usually a very scary sewer. But for us, I don't think is so bad. This looks like a really good time to shoot a mephitic cloud. Not really, because I'm going to hit myself. We can hit 2 of the rats. There we go. My skeletons and my ancestor do not care at all about mephitic, whereas all the other stuff is going to get confused. Alright, I'm going to bail. I'm getting kind of afraid here. How about, can these guys swim? I don't know if they can. Yes they can. Okay. Well, I was going to put down a conjure flame, but they can swim anyway, so never mind. What if we mephitic them? I'm going to give a mephitic cloud a go, and if that doesn't work, we can acid wand them. Okay, it worked. It didn't. Well, it didn't get this one, and then my auto-fired magic dart went after the one that was already confused. So that was my bad. I really don't want to have to acid wand this guy. He bites for 10 damage. We still got 37. I think we're okay. Okay, I'm really not okay. Alright, hang on. Let's acid them both. Alright, there we go. I mean, I didn't think I was going to die there, but I really didn't want to have to acid wand, which is a bit unfortunate. Oh well, we're still at 7 charges. Okay, yeah, I think this is 100% the frog ending. Alright, but that's okay, because with our ancestor, our acid wand, and our other summons, and our mephitic clouds, I think we can fight frogs. But yeah, this is a really dangerous one. The way I remember it is because it has this sort of snaky one with the blue water in the middle, and then there's usually this room. So if you recognize it and you know you can't fight a giant frog, you can loot this room and then you can leave. But I'm confident we can fight the frog. Here's some curare. We'll grab those if we ever find a blowgun. Alright, let's back up. The issue I got in last time is that I ran in forwards to help my ancestor, and then that alerted a bunch more rats, so we ended up fighting more enemies than we should have. This time I'll be smarter. I'll just hang back. Okay, I say that and then I walked in to help and I revealed more rats. Fortunately just rats and not, say, frogs. Okay, let's step behind. We have quite a fearsome army right now of animated skeletons. Alright, I think we're ready to fight frogs. Oh yeah, okay, so this is another room. It's the same idea. You can grab the loot. So it looks like there are 2 you go through before you get to the frog. The reason I'm charging straight in, even though I'm a bit injured, is because of this massive army we have. Yeah, here are the frogs. Alright, now let's bail. Let's make some imps, and we're just going to stand behind our team. Alright, everyone get this frog. There's one in front of me. Hang on. Let me try mephitic here. If we can mephitic this frog. We did hit him, but he didn't get mephiticed. I really don't want to have to... He hits for 9 damage. Okay, I'm not that afraid of him. I think our team will finish this frog off and we'll get to this one before I start dying. Although I say that, I'm not so sure anymore. Am I really going to have to acid? I can't acid them both, which is a bit unfortunate. I'm going to step back. Okay, so we got that first frog. My team should come help me now. Okay, yeah, this works. I walk around the pillar. Yeah, so then I get my team back in front. Alright, yeah. Cool. Our fire magic makes it to 2. Conjure flame down to 14%. That's where our fire magic is going to stop. I think that's probably fine. And we've got blink down to 7%. You know what? I really want to be able to blink if we need it. I'm going to train translocations to 3. Oh, big call, I know. Very big call. Alright, and we get new spoils here. We have 5 potions of might. Oh yeah, something else that I have completely forgotten about is that we have an amulet of berserk rage. So for instance, against that rat, I probably didn't need to use the acid wand if I just berserked rage and then fought it. But oh well. So we've got a bunch of potions. I think the 4 yellow potions is probably curing, and all these new scrolls we've picked up, I think we're going to test them when we come out of the sewer here. I'm going to check there's nothing else here. Yep. That we didn't pick up. Alright. I'm going to head to an upstairs before I read these scrolls. I have just found a shield. Alright. Everything is coming out. Ogre house. Alright, this just destroys all our spells. And actually this was a total mistake actually. That could have been cursed. And then look at this spell screen. We wouldn't have been able to use any of our spells. Major mistake. To try an item on that you picked up from the floor without remove curse could kill your character. Now this probably wouldn't kill my character because even without spells we just abuse our ancestor, but it would still be very annoying. So yeah, that's an error. Let's take the shield off for now, but we're going to start focusing that. So if we have a look at the shield, it only requires 9 skill to get rid of its skill penalty. And this will up our defenses a lot. We're in a robe, we have no auxiliary armor slot, so our AC is probably going to be crap for a while. Our evasion is generally crap on an ogre, so adding shield really helps your survivability. Yeah, we are going to focus that to 9. Cool. We'll periodically check in as our shield skill goes up to see whether or not we can kind of cast with it. But for now, I'd rather have my spells. Amnesia, which I don't need, but I can pick it up. Okay, on to D5. Here's a rune broadaxe. Wow. Well, we haven't trained any weapon skill, and ogres are 0 aptitude axe users. I mean, maybe this is a vampiric broadaxe. Like that's really early to find a broadaxe, and it's runed. Not that we can test it until we get remove curse, so I'm not going to. But once we do, we might. Let's stand on these stairs. Actually, let's test these stacks of 3. We might find it. There's magic mapping. We find an altar. That's probably a shop up there. And another altar. Oh, and our temple. Yeah, that's our temple. Okay, so we probably want to head towards the shop. That might give us some sort of boost. Let's read our other scrolls. Fog. Immolation. I'm going to tell my ancestor to get away from me. That's a funny trick in that you can immolate your ancestor and then send him into combat. Let's test this one. It's Scroll of Fear. Okay. You're still immolated. I'm just gonna wait. I don't want you to be on fire. Alright, well, ooh. I see here a Falchion of Elec is a pretty great weapon, and we have the exact amount of gold to buy it. I also see, it's probably much more usable now. So that's the Maxwell's Thermic Engine. The last time I saw this, it gave you RF minus and RC minus, so it was really dangerous to use. But it's a really cool weapon now that it doesn't give you those minuses. So it's a double sword, which is a fantastic base weapon. It has 2 brands, which is unique among weapons. And the way that it works is every time you swing with it, the enchantment goes up to how much? I think it goes up to plus 18 maybe. It goes up to plus 14. So I mean, that's a lot of swings, but to have a plus 14 double sword that's applying 2 brands at the same time is pretty amazing. I think as an ogre we suck at long blades. We don't, we're only -1. Huh. Well, I'm gonna mark that. I mean, the fact that we have a falchion of elect that we could then start training, which will be really strong in the meantime, and then work towards the thermic engine, is very viable. I'd kind of like to know what my broad axe is though, before I do that. So I'm going to hang on. I mean, of course, so I like polearms for the things we've talked about. We can reach over our ancestor. It's better with spectral weapon and so on. But if you're talking about having a plain spear versus having, say, a good branded other type of weapon or like a good artifact, I'd switch. Speaking of switching, let me just switch places here real quick. Okay, we should check out the temple here. So we've already got our god, but the way that we get piety as Hep is to explore. Where does it say it? Where does it say what he likes? Oh yeah, there's our list. So at level 15, this is our experience level. At level 15, he'll get paralyzed. 19, he'll get mass confusion and haste. And it's at experience level 24 that he gets the anti-magic quick blade. Yeah, but at this point he has his draining dagger and he has slow and confuse. He gets a big power boost when he has paralysis, but even just confusing stuff at this point in the game is really good. Yeah, where does it list what he likes? He likes it when you explore the world. There we go, the last line there. So if we go explore the temple, we're exploring the world. So we gained some piety from doing that. And it was basically free piety because we were never going to meet enemies in there while we did that. Let me start backing up. I don't want to fight a whole bunch of enemies at once right now. More magic mapping. We've got 3 of those, so we're ready for whatever the next portal is. Here's a glowing trident. Okay, so there's some risk in doing this, insofar as we don't have remove curse. But even if it's a -3 curse trident, I don't think that hurts us too much over a +1 spear. We're using our spear to poke stuff because we may as well. As in we may as well help fights rather than stand there doing nothing. So if we got the glowing trident, we could still poke with it even if it's crappy. But if it's good, say this is a, I don't know, like a +2 venom trident, it would up our power a lot. So let's find out. Okay, it's curse -3. So we did get the maximum punish, but I think that's okay for the reasons I just said. We can poke perfectly well with this. And it is a higher base damage weapon, so... Ooh, book. Book. Spire? No. Well, this has confuse in it. We're not going to learn confuse. Basically, that would just be stepping on our ancestor's toes. Our ancestor is already a hexer, so why would we train hexers as well? Hello. You are an invis guy. My ancestor can see you. And you are confused. Cool, we reached level 8. That's nice. Yeah, so we're not going to learn anything out of that book. Hornets or zombies are really dumb. So I can put a conjure flame here. Okay, well my ancestor moved out of the way. and he confused it. They have really low MR. Okay, but anyway, zombies are really dumb, so they will walk into conjured flames. It's just I needed the ancestor to stand there and hold it in the flames, but he stepped back. That brings our translocations to 3, our shields to 2. I wonder if we can cast with the shield now. Let's find out. No. No is the answer. Call in 20% chance to fail. Mephitic 50%. No. Absolutely not yet. A new scroll. I'm going to go back to the stair to read that in case it's noise. There's remove curse. Alright, so the next remove curse we find, we can start trying on things. The broad axe, the staff. Oh no, we can't. Oh wait, we can because we just got rid of the trident. Okay, let's... I think in actuality, if it is a -3 curse trident, or just a -3 trident versus a +1 spear, the +1 spear is probably better. So we will switch back to that. Cool. What are we training, by the way? We've just got shield, spellcasting, fighting on right now. If I train a little bit of hexes, we can get confusing touchdown. I do not care about animate skeleton because you're generally casting that outside of combat anyway. So we don't need very many points of hexes, maybe 2 of those as well. So we've got a lot of 2s across the board. And then once we've done that, let's also take our spellcasting to 6. We're fine with spell levels for the moment. Actually, will I learn? No, I won't learn Application. It doesn't shine very much in the early game. It's better when you're trying to steal runes and you're doing the Abyss and stuff like that. At some point we might also train some Invo. But anyway, I think for the moment we take hexes to 2, we take spellcasting to 6, and then we really focus on getting our shield so we can have the shield and cast spells. And then after that point, I think maybe we might start thinking about Invo. I note that we've made it to 3 pips of piety. We have the ability for transference. The failure rate is quite high at 21% because we haven't trained Invo. That lets you switch something else with your ancestor. So you can switch it a monster with your ancestor. You could switch yourself with the ancestor, for instance. Like one play might be using TR, you retreat your ancestor away, say to the left, you start running right, enemies chase you right, and then you switch with your ancestor to be on the left, and then you can escape, something like that. But yeah, I don't find that an extremely exciting ability, especially not in the early game. So I'm not going to start training Invo in a hurry just to get transference up. We don't know for sure that we have curing, but that stack of 5 is almost certainly curing. When you're starving, we're going to have to eat a ration in a sec here. Yep. I'm going to pick up this rune falchion. Like maybe that's a lek and then I get to save my gold. Okay, we're starving. We eat a ration. Rip. On this new floor, actually there's no point being on a new floor because we've already found magic mapping, so I may as well just read it here. It's holy word. Even though our ancestor is, I mean, you'd think it's a ghost, right? It doesn't take damage from holy word. It's interesting. Here's our first priest who has snuck up behind us to guard our stairs. This is the time where we want the Mephitic Cloud. I mean, as an ogre, we're a really high HP species, so we have 71 HP at this point. We're probably not going to die real quickly to smites, but all the same, I want to take the priest out immediately. And he wandered from above us, so I'm going to walk that way. There might be, yeah, I was going to say an orc pack up there. It looks like there is indeed, because here's another priest. The Mephitic did not get him. Well, I'm just going to camp on the stairs. Let's see if our ancestor can take him out. Yeah, the ancestor is just winning in a fight. Here's another priest, a third one. Let's camp on the stairs. I don't want to die. Alright, there we go. Now we can Mephitic on top of our ancestor and we'll get it. And our ancestor can walk in and stab. Yep, cool. And here's the wizard. So we don't know that we have curing, so we don't want to get confused. but the ancestor is going to block line of fire in the hallway here, and then we're going to Mephitic again on top. And our ancestor can just stab it once it's confused. Cool. So our ancestor has a dagger, so he's getting max stab bonus as well. Another priest! That's crazy. Alright, same play. Imagine if you're playing a Felid right now, how angry you'd be to meet 4 orc priests all at one time. Alright, it dies. Good. Can we get some zombie orcs? Let me not take damage for no reason. I'm gonna rest up. I mean, by resting up there, Oh, okay, I see. Ultraviolet 3 has departed this plane of existence. I didn't know what that meant, but it meant that it died. Okay. I don't remember what point I was making. Let's pick up... Oh, right. By resting, I was allowing my skeletons to time out. But in that situation, I don't know, where we're just exploring a floor normally, I feel like it was better to get our HP back than it was to have a little army. We have picked up a plain trident. I think it is better to have a plain trident than a +1 spear. It's a higher base damage weapon. Cool. Let's wait for our ancestor to come back. Let's keep exploring. Do we have more remove curse? No. We don't need stones. If I'm going to throw anything, we'll throw the 2 tomahawks. Where are all our identify scrolls? We have so many potions, but we've never had any ID scrolls. We had that big stack in the early game, and then none since then. Let me get that dispersal trap off my screen. I want nothing to do with it. Okay, I think we killed the jelly. Yeah. I do not want a phantom to be anywhere near a dispersal trap because it's going to blink around randomly. I don't want it blinking me and any other monsters around randomly as well. So I'm going to keep the dispersal trap off my screen. Our magic darts are doing literally nothing. Oh, there we go. Ultraviolet 3 to the rescue. We're an ogre. I think we should be picking up large rocks. I'm also going to back up here. So you've seen the sky beast, but this is a really awkward spot to fight. We've got unknown above us and to the left. We've got unknown directly to the left, and then unknown below us. So if I just stand here and fight, we could have enemies coming in from all sorts of directions. So I'm going to start backing up towards our known area. And now that we're back to a sort of safer spot, now I'm Mephitic. Oh. Alright, cool. That's level 2 for our Hexes skill. That brings Confusing Touch down to 4%. I haven't used it yet. I haven't needed to. But I can foresee situations where I'll be very glad that we have it. And I think I should, because Auto Explorer is doing a really bad job of exploring. So it's bringing us down here. Like say we meet something dangerous here, like Prince Rivet, who's fast and scary. We'd have to back all the way around, all the way down here back to the stair. And that's right next to unknown. So more enemies could be running in from this way. So if I'm paying attention, and I mean we're playing a tournament, so I should be paying attention. I should be doing a bit of manual exploration when the Auto Explorer is taking me stupid ways. I'm gonna Mephitic that guy again. I failed it. Let's go again. In this one, see, I'm not so worried, although maybe I should be because it's unknown to the left. So yeah, enemies could run in here and block us from the stairs. So I'm going to start backing up. We killed it. Our spellcasting goes to 6. Good. There's another rune falchion. We're going to be trying rune falchions till the end of time. Hope none of these are distortion. Famous last words. Alright, let's back up. Yeah, see that's why we're backing up, in case more dangerous enemies turn up. Okay, so I'm going to use this choke point here and I'm going to recall my ancestor to us. Now this isn't a great place to fight because there's unknown below us as well, but a centaur is fast and ranged, so me backing up to the stairs here is going to give it a lot of time to do nonsense to us. We failed the Mephitic. Does it matter? No, see, I think this would be potentially a good time to use Confusing Touch. I don't really want to stand behind my ancestor because then I'll be ranged, so the centaur could try to shoot us with the bow. Whereas if I'm standing next to him, he's going to try to do melee attacks, which are much less scary. So let's do Confusing Touch, and we'll try to stab him. Yeah, we got him. We didn't. He was maybe just... Oh, we didn't. Yeah, he was just momentarily confused by the ancestor. I hope we don't have to use an acid here. I mean, we still got 54 HP. I don't think we do. I'm going to keep trying to touch him. That time we got him. Okay, he is confused now. He hit himself with his short bow. That's interesting. Okay, yeah, there's the Quasit. That's the one that stole all my decks when I was playing a Deep Dwarf. Let's pick Int. I should not be getting really poisoned by that Scorpion because we don't know that we have Curing yet. I mean, we almost certainly do. These stacks of potions, I bet Curing is the 6, but we don't know that. So let's not get too poisoned. I'm going to step back here, and our ancestor is nearly dying, so I think this is a good time to use Mephitic Cloud. It's probably going to make us starve, but that's okay. I need to use Magic Dart here on the Worker Ant Zombie. Okay, I'm hoping, yeah, good, I can just kill it off there while it was still confused. No corpse out of the centaur, we're going to have to eat a ration. That's fine, here's an ogre. So what we can do here is block the corridor with the Conjure Flame. Oh, our ancestor just walks into it. Great, great job. Well, I'll Mephitic to help out. That's not real clever. I don't know, how did Ultraviolent 3 manage to breed? Who knows? Here's a hatch up I'm going to test. I'm not going to pick that unknown downstairs because that could put me in the middle of something scary when I know these other stairs are already perfectly safe. Still checking for Remove Curse. An enemy imp. Alright, yeah, I'll Mephitic. The frog is fast, so even if I try to run behind the ancestor, it might still chase me down. Our shield just made it to 5. I'm going to do another check if we can cast spells in it. It looks like this is a lot better. So, Call Imp is 10%, Mephitic is 26, Blink is 10, Conjure Flame is 28. I think this is fine. And as we train more and more shields here towards 9, they'll keep dropping. So this is acceptable. And we now have 8 points of shield. Whereas before we had 10 evasion. So we dropped 2 points of evasion due to our shield penalty, but we gained 8 shield, which I think is a perfectly fine trade. I'll train 2 evasion for 8 shield all day, every day. Let's get behind this guy so we're not getting hexed. Okay, our ancestor just decided to leave this planet. I'm gonna go with Mephitic here. I don't really like this. I don't like the priest. I'm gonna start backing up. I'm gonna call my ancestor in and we'll restart this fight here. Oh, here's Invis. Hang on. My ancestor can see Invis, so that's okay. I can Mephitic here. And that will probably... Yeah, okay, so the wizard went down. And now the priest is going to get confused. Alright, good. Okay. Yeah, Hep is a great god. I could pick up the Dagger of Venom, but really the short sword of Venom is probably slightly better because it's got a higher enchantment on it. Phantom is not going down. There we go. And where are remove curse scrolls? Where are identify scrolls? Where are all our regular scrolls? Hey, there's one. Alright, so I complain, the devs heard me. Okay, fair enough. Maybe, I think we might just clear this floor and then we'll try stuff. Alright, so it's been 50 minutes. I think I'll start the next episode by trying out all our gear. And I mean, we might not get far, because if the first thing we try is cursed, then that's sort of like the end of our experiments. Anyway, that's it for now. So I'm pretty happy with where we are right now. I mean, after finding an early hep, how could you complain? But then we found a bunch of good spells, including Confusing Touch. Well, basically just we found the Book of Cantrips. So yeah, I like where we are right now. That's it. Goodbye.